Hi everyone, friends, the Fisherman's Life channel is back with you. Judging by the logo on the screen, you probably guessed that today we have new products from XESTA, for which I am very sincerely grateful and express my sincere gratitude. To Mr. Kengo-san, thank you. We will start with the youngest model that came to me. Actually, the list of all these reviews, what will be released after what, we decided with the guys in Telegram. Who is not subscribed to Telegram, follow the link in the description. Well, we're actually starting. I have such a cool place today. Someone brought some old sofa, just what you need for filming. But actually not about the sofa. Today I will film separately how the fishing rod looks. I will try to film separately to make it larger. Whoever is the most attentive and subscribed to the channel for at least 4 to 5 months has seen this. Preliminary, so to speak, review of these fishing rods from the XESTA stand at the exhibition. It was an exhibition in the city of Yokohama. Anyone who wants to can come and take a look. I'll leave a link in the description specifically to this video with the XESTA company stand. And today we'll talk about a model like the multi swap S74ML-T. The company Xsta has updated its Black Star line. For 9 years this line has not been updated. And after 9 years they completely updated this line. As in the past, all the materials that XESTA uses in the production of its rods are produced directly in Japan, and the assembly of the blanks themselves takes place in China. The rod looks pretty cool. I have a test sample here with a sticker on it. This is the sample that travels to exhibitions of all kinds, presentations, and let's say so it is constantly in use, constantly in the hands, and constantly someone touches it, tries it, and nevertheless Eva is in excellent condition. The mushroom is in excellent condition. No one has spoiled it yet before me, I hope, and I will not spoil it. The new Black Star series uses new carbon 1100G. XESTA went the way of reducing the thickness of the blank wall to reduce the weight of the rod itself. They also moved away from these square reel seats that were here. Yes, for a long time in principle, even with the Extra Tune series we saw this quite comfortable, high quality IPS reel seat. Well, in terms of design, as usual, I have no complaints about design. I have no complaints about the quality of this rod. It is assembled just perfectly. The rings here are ordinary metal steel made of stainless steel as written on the website. I will leave a link to the manufacturer of Xsta company below. If you want, go and read it yourself. There you can read all about each series of rods in the description of the characteristics. Just turn on auto translation and everything will work out for you. So, thanks to the use of new carbon, the rod has become very sticky, as written on the manufacturer's website. But we understand what this means. This means that the blank has become very, very flexible. That is, the very stickiness of the blank on the fish should be simply colossal. Well, today we will try to catch someone here. I have temporarily relocated to the other side from my favorite spot because the wind is southern, and that's exactly what it will be now. Blowing in my back. To catch on the other side you need a north wind, and until it blows to the other side we will not go because the winds are very strong now, and fishing with such a wind in the face is simply not possible. Well, and so to speak, I will add everything else already when I'm going to catch. Let's get started, let's go. Well, I have another luxury place here today. I'm in luxury places, so let's talk a little more specifically about the fishing rod. This is 74 length. The specification of the fishing rod says that it is ML, but as I have said more than once and will say again, that each firm has its own specification of the power class of the butt and graphite leader. ML is its own, XESTA is its own, Gamakatsu is its own, that is, they just make a gradation. But it does not pursue any constant values in this way. Regarding the elasticity, to the butt, I think that the butt is quite stiff though. But it doesn't reach ML. That is, there are MLs that are much stiffer. This feels more like light. Still, it's a rod with a lure weight up to 12 grams and with a line test up to 0.8. But again, 0.8 lines are different. There are old models, there are new models. New lines, as a rule, are already thinner with a more powerful, well, with a greater braking load. And I would say that, taking into account the size of the guides, well, 0.5 cord here, I think there will be a ceiling, especially up to 12 grams. I know why they write these. Here 08 Pay Company XESTA specializes in sea fishing. Sea fish are quite large. Sometimes, again, the rod is designed for fishing with various lures. Absolutely, that is, it can be a spoon, it can be some kind of metal jig, 10 grams and anything, and you can get caught. Absolutely any fish, and that's why they write 08 pay cord. In fact, in our jig, I think that putting more than 05 pay here doesn't make sense. Rings here are very, very thin, very, very small, very light, although metal tulip anti-overlap together with tulip. These are 8 rings today. We have Daiwa Certate 2000. As you know, I am not particularly afraid of reducing the size of the reel, but let's take a 3000 reel. Why 2000 is quite enough. Moreover, I always do this, and those who have been subscribed to the channel for a long time know that for me there is no particular fear. Does not cause the use of a 2000th reel on weights up to 12 grams. Therefore, actually, let's get started. Schnur today 03 Pay Sunline EGIULTHS. Let's get started with the test. As usual, we start with 1.5 grams and a small lure, and you know, already on the first cast you can say that it will cast 1 gram, but you don't expect any O from it. Look, there's someone there. Cool. Sea bass, small sea bass took it. In short, I bought the lure a long time ago. This is such a bump from TICTI. Bought it a long time ago, but I never put it on. It was lying in my box and there was no reason to put it on. This is, look, right on the first cast, the fish is gone. Oh. And there are many of them. Look, cool, bites are just awful. Well, 15 grams flies quite far. As for the rod up to 12 grams, it's just gorgeous. Of course, there won't be any sensitivity. The tip is quite soft, but it's hard for me to judge because it's very windy today. Right now, it's almost deadly here. It's very windy today, and it's difficult to tell by the tip. Oh, there was a bite. Well, the fish's taps are right there. Are heard very clearly. The sensitivity is top-notch for the rod. Well, you don't expect it from it. Music. So, sorry, there will be a little sound from the GoPro because I forgot to put on the lapel mic. Here's another. Boat passed. The sensitivity is quite cool, but on 1.5 grams, of course. Only by the cord. Only by the cord. There is no other way. So, I retied and immediately put on 2s. Half because well like 1.5 is good but only on the cord and here 25 grams well in the wind. Just blows the arc in that direction well at 25 grams already now closer when you pull up to the shore. It is clearly visible how the tip works well, just fine that is, and there appears such light sensitivity, but here the bottom is not the hardest but sensitivity appears at least. Some kind of here at 25 grams and on a small bait 18 inches excellent rod it is already clear that it is excellent. On the retrieve I do it like this now I'll show you this way now. So I constantly that is a turn and I also play with the rod itself and when you play like this. With this rod like this the tip slightly falls through then returns well and not just the tip. It falls through approximately up to here even that is, if you do such a sharp lift then. Well, just class it works very correctly well, at 25G it's already like I consider. That 25G, that's even I would say that it's a really comfortable low. That's very comfortable. Bites are heard really great and it knocks. Here it hit a stone 25 grams already clearly audible. So, let's try to catch some bass, shall we? With you so I put on, in short, a jackal worm and a Nico rig. And despite the fact that in this worm I have a weight of only 175 grams well, I threw it pretty far well, that is, here, so that you understand. There is no cargo on the equipment now it's just cargo here in the head of the worm there is no more cargo. So, well, I already switched to 35 grams because with 2.5. Basically everything is clear and well it's a little bit small here to be honest, like against the wind. Catching a with 35 grams how beautiful you don't even need to cast anymore, it does everything itself. Just gorgeous. And 35 grams already sensitivity even. Well, as sensitivity the return of the tip and you clearly feel this return of the tip at 35 grams. Gorgeous in general, you know I want to tell you that. The extra tuned series that the company has well it's better, it's clear that it's better yes. Other materials are used there and everything else but now I'm catching ordinary. XESTA Black Star. This is an ordinary XESTA series yes it is at the level of Gamakatsu Hana. That's 100. A rod up to 12 grams 3 with PO will already be hitting the hand 100. Yes, regarding the price let's talk a little bit. I will insert the manufacturer's suggested retail price on the screen here in Japan how much it costs. Well, and in your countries, you can see for yourself, because the appetites of distributors are very different. Well, here it is a retail price how does she cast 35 grams? And the blank is already loaded with 35 grams well. If it was not loaded with 25 grams, then it is loaded with 35 grams, and the lure I have there is about 1 inch in general. All hooks are absolutely clearly audible, absolutely in general. Yes, and 35 grams knocks into the finger even on not very hard bottom. Here was some kind of snag probably on the fish even with a side wind. Now I'm just reeling the arc. Therefore I make 3 turns, pause. Even with a side wind you hear 35 grams. From the very beginning. That's why I love short rods. Look, you broke off, you need to get it. Your cord from the tip so it doesn't fly away. You just take it like this once and here's the cord in your hands. Do this with a 93 feet rod. Your reel seat will be lying over there somewhere. I put a 5 grams and a half-inch lure on 5 grams. Here is the rod right there. Cool, just well, that is, it already has sensitivity. Even with 2 grams, it will be in a solid bottom. The cast starts with 35 grams sane cast, and at 5 grams just the quintessence of all. Sensations, well, that is, just chic right from the very cast. Some snags of fish or bites. And besides, the arc and everything was audible. Well, class of course, yes, sensitivity. Do not take, definitely rod top, definitely must have a watch to the end. When I catch on such rods I really enjoy it. Because when you catch with something not particularly understandable, like a 5 grams cast, well, it's just excellent. When you catch with something not particularly understandable, not particularly pleasing to you, well, what kind of pleasure can you get from it? But when you have a light one in your hands, at the same time, it's springy, and you just catch and enjoy it, well, I like that. I don't know. Maybe of course tastes differ, but I enjoy such things. On 5 grams, it will knock you in the hard bottom so that your teeth will fall out. And this and here are not the smallest rings yet, so you understand. Well, that is, they are possible. They're in the frost will not really let you catch these rings, but these are not the smallest rings. There are much less, like many times less. And you can hear the difference. This is also a very important characteristic on which I always focus. You can hear the difference between sensitivity, that is, sensitivity into a hard bottom and sensitivity into a soft bottom. They are different, and this difference is very much clearly audible. I will continue to increase further. The wind is not calming down, it is only blowing harder. I need to, therefore, gain a little weight. I skip 7 grams because I don't see the point in lingering. Everything is clear on 5. I've set it to 9 now, and 9 is just a catapult. And I didn't invest much now, but if I did, I think it would throw it 60 to 100 meters. Nine is already, of course, the sensitivity is right into the soft bottom. Well, here it's a little bit not according to the conditions. 9 is falling very quickly. Well, it's just like that in terms of the test. 9 grams plus their 15 or 2 inches or 18 something like that. This TICT lure and 9 grams is just great without any problems. With such a light cast, please bang, and she flew away. Touching the fish is of course simply indescribable. The website says that the use of 1100G carbon has given an increased range. I haven't tried these fishing rods or the old versions before, which were there before, but this one has a really impressive range. It turns out, if you take it in calm weather and in still water, you can safely catch 25 grams. To start, if we reach the top of the test and everything is clear, then the range of this rod is 10 grams. The range of the L rod is 10 grams, I emphasize. If everything is fine with the top of the test, but we will check it. How she abandons this class 1, don't make efforts at all on the abandonment. Here on the fish falls directly audible as on the fish falls. So for all unbelievers and suffering 12 grams and the bait is small, you know, I think everything will be. Just fine, judging by the way the fishing rod already brings itself. I can already see that everything will be great. She casts 12 grams. 12 grams fell as if it were some kind of feeder. So let's try again. A little stronger now. Yes, she casts 12. Well, I would probably still recommend stopping, well, if you have a large one. Lure, then 12 is the total weight, because you can feel that 12 is already the limit. I would advise probably 10 plus the lure, that's how to use it. Well, I don't think 11. That 11 plus a small lure someone is catching, most likely it's still some kind of 2 to 3 inches. Well, 2 inches, yes, well, 2 inches you can do 11p 2 inches, and if 2 by 3 inches, then 10 that is. The aggregate test on the top is 12 grams, yes, I just put on a very small one specifically. Very light lure so as not to overload. Well, damn, it throws itself, I don't know how this happens. She throws herself, she doesn't need to swing to make an effort, moreover, I don't know how they did it with such a small ring. There are no problems with this ring. I was very worried about this little ring, and specifically at the beginning. I didn't say anything about it in the video because I thought, well, I'll try it later and then I'll tell you if there are any problems, but there are no problems. I don't know how it's made. Well, I don't understand yet. Maybe this ring is a little further away. Most likely, it's a little further away, but there is no problem with the small ring here. Well, I applied force to the cast. No problems on the cast. 12 grams hits just like a hammer to the back of the head. And she animates these 12 grams. That is, she doesn't fail on animation, she throws up these 12 grams. Damn, well, this is cool. This is cool. You know, I had a series of videos there in search of the best L fishing rod. That's basically what I've found for myself. Without hesitation, I can say that XESTA doesn't pay me for these reviews. No one gives me any bonuses.
Дистрибьюторы из Российской Федерации вообще меня тихо ненавидят, наверное, потому что я там порой правду рассказываю про палки. Просто
What I get from these reviews, I get some experience, some pleasure. And XESTA, thank you very much. Huge that they generally just give me these sticks for review. Just gave, I filmed and then I got it back, that's it, that's all my benefit, so to speak. Well, this is a cool thing. It's really cool. That is why I don't like all these logs. Because you spend time fishing. Usually not 1 or 2 hours. And when you wave all these logs that are really a rod up to 10 to 12 grams, but it's a log. Take the same tiro apia. It's a log. On the other hand, when you take a rod up to 10 grams, such as gamakatsu, well, it's not the same anymore. It's already absolutely not the same because, well, there's a completely different topic there. There are super sensitive stakes that can't do anything except show their sensitivity, and that's it, and it's very difficult there to choose your butt power. Here, you don't need to invent anything. You just took it and fish. And despite the fact that I say, this is not an extra tuned version, this is a regular Xsta Black Star. Stickiness of the blank as written. I now also understand what the stickiness of the blank is. Even when you reel in these 12 grams, your blank moves and walks in it well. Cushions everything. I'm shocked by this fishing rod so far. There were 3 of them in total, I'll remind you. And there will be 2 more. As always, when the camera is charging, it pecks without a camera. Well, that's how the fishing rod bends. On the fish, I'll tell you, the butt is absolutely working. I'm writing now again. To the GoPro sound, there will be a slight deviation with the sound, but please forgive me, there is no wind. Should record normally. In general, there is a fish. Now wheel. So the fish is going for a walk. We have completed the minimum task for today. He seems lethargic. Well, he was pushing hard and took it with a hit. Wow. And who is that? As if he took it with his face. No. Well, look how the fishing rod works. That's how it bends. And what, are we going to torment you or something? There's a single hook 32 there. It's going to bend open now. Well, let me even stand up. It's a pity that it won't all be visible on the camera, but we have a GoPro still filming. The hook straightened out. Well, that's basically how it works. It was a big fish. And the hook came out on us. Yes, by the way, it didn't straighten out. On this, I consider the review completely finished. Thank you all for watching. See you again.